Hello everyone, please press subscribe, press follow, press the bell so you don't miss any new clips. Astral Pets Store. Author by Ancient She. Audio novels by Novelist. Astral Pets Store. Chapter 81. Xuanhuan's performance. At this moment, the exhibition match on stage had already ended. The two sides left the stage after the announcer notified their departure. Very soon, new people appeared. After 2 consecutive rounds, the quarterfinals finished their exhibition matches. Next was the semi-finals. After the semi-finals, it was the champion exhibition match. The champion exhibition match started from the first years, with the third years being the finale. When the sun set and the sky above the stadium completely darkened, the champion exhibition match began. When the announcer declared the beginning of the champion exhibition match for the first years, Su Ping, who was dozing off, woke up immediately. His interest was piqued when he thought about that proud sister of his who was about to show up. To be honest, he had never seen Xuanhuan in real combat. As for Xuanhuan's phantom flame beast, it had already reached the mid-tier of the 4th rank. It could even rank in the top 8 amongst the third years, much less the first years. Although this fellow was usually arrogant, she did have the right to act the part. In one of the first grade classes, a few girls were surrounding a girl with black, straight, long hair. When they heard the announcer present the final match, one of the girls reminded the black-haired girl in the middle, "Xuanhuan, it's your turn." Xuanhuan nodded slightly, her expression cold. This was her usual behavior in school. The people around her didn't find it strange and were already used to it. All the best, Xuanhuan. Defeat him with your most beautiful pet skills. Another round-faced girl clenched her fists and cheered. Xuanhuan nodded. At this moment, the announcer presented her name and the other person's. At the same time, a beam of light shone over, enveloping Xuanhuan in the crowd, attracting everyone's attention. All the best. All the best. The girls cheered her on. Xuanhuan stood up. When she passed the mentor in front of her class, the mentor said to her earnestly, "Don't be careless. Even if it's an exhibition match, it won't look good if you lose." Xuanhuan nodded and walked onto the competition stage. Her opponent was already standing on the other side of the stage. He was waving at a certain part of the stadium, as if someone he knew was there. Many students brought their families to watch the exhibition match. When Xuanhuan saw the other party's actions, she thought of the admission ticket she had given in the morning. Her heart skipped a beat. I wonder if he's here yet. She subconsciously glanced at a particular place of the audience stands. It was the area for the admission ticket she gave. There was a sea of people there, but she had excellent eyesight. After a sweep, she didn't see that familiar and detestable face. After that, his face became even more detestable in her heart. As expected, he didn't come. Humph, it's good that he didn't. I don't care for him. Xuanhuan was fuming in her heart. She gritted her teeth. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have given him the ticket. It would have been better to throw it in the trash can. She looked away and casually glanced at other places. It was the area for the upperclassmen. Suddenly, she saw something familiar. To be precise, it was a person. She looked carefully and her eyes widened. It's him. Is it really him? Our little Emmy Xuanhuan. Pui. 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 It's that bastard. How did he get into the upperclassmen area? Wait a minute. Isn't that the owner of the lightning rat next to him? Xuanhuan was a little surprised. After double-checking, she realized that she wasn't mistaken. Not only was he there, but he was also sitting in the front row, surrounded by famous people from the school. What is going on? The referee at the side of the stage was also speechless. What is going on? I've already called out to her 3 times, but she still doesn't hear me. Xuanhuan, the referee shouted again. Xuanhuan heard this and came back to her senses. She looked at the referee. The match has begun, the referee reminded. Only then did Xuanhuan react. She looked at her opponent, and noticed how his originally smiling face had turned into a furious one, feeling that he had been despised. Xuanhuan felt a little wronged, but there was no way to explain it. Besides, it was fine if he was angered. She was not afraid. Her thoughts had returned to the match. Thinking of the despicable fellow below the stage, she raised her chin slightly. HMPH, I'll show you how powerful I am. She directly let the phantom flame beast reveal its true form and enter a battle state. Howl. The phantom flame beast jumped down from her shoulder and landed on the ground with a baby-like roar. However, after it roared, its body was instantly enlarged, turning into a ferocious tiger that was nearly 2 meters tall. Black wings grew out from its back. The advanced pets of the demon family had 3 abilities: flight, illusion, and fire. Also, their close combat skills were not bad. They were the most popular among the advanced pets. Even in their young state, their prices were very expensive. Her opponent also summoned his pet. It was the most popular dragon-type pet, the silver-winged dragon. This was a dragon hybrid, but it had extraordinary combat strength. It had a 9th rank bloodline, but it was still in its growing stages. Its body was only 5 meters long, and its combat strength was around the 4th rank. Attack. Su Lingyu raised her hand, and 4 amplification skills were instantly applied to the phantom flame beast. She was a first-year student, but her amplification skills were all level 2. Judging from her casting speed, she was extremely skilled. It wouldn't be very long for her to reach level 3. If a strong pet could be bought with the wealth of a family, most students would still be unconvinced, but this augmentation skill was enough to show Su Lingyu's skills and hard work. This was not something that could be achieved with money. Her opponent was also using an amplification skill, but he was clearly slower than her. Furthermore, the increase in strength was actually at level 1. For first years, a first-level augmentation was the passing mark for the year-end examination. However, the speed of the opponent's casting was also very fast. It wouldn't take long for her opponent to reach level 2. As soon as the phantom flame beast went on stage, it unleashed the familiar spiritual intrusion and interfered using illusions. This illusion not only affected pets, but also their owners. The moment the silver-winged dragon was affected by the illusion, it suddenly let out a dragon's roar. The spiritual power of a dragon-type pet was extremely strong. Considering the pride of the dragon species, it was unwilling to bow its head so easily. With the dragon roars dispelling, the illusion that had invaded its master's mind was also cleared. However, the effect of the illusion was still effective. It had stalled for time. The phantom flame beast flew out at a rapid speed, spewing flames. Flames surged out like a sea, and the scorching temperature was swept out. The entire stadium was rising in temperature. The silver-winged dragon roared and blasted out cold air. It also flew up and clashed with the phantom flame beast. The collision between flames and ice, the roar of a dragon, and the intense battle made the crowd cheer even louder. Su Ping nodded slightly. It was a good show. The first-year students nowadays are very strong. Lan Lele and Su Yanying sighed. They had not been as strong when they were first years. This was truly the era of a new generation. The battle continued, and it was extremely intense. Not long after, an unexpected illusion interfered. Su Lingyu's opponent was suddenly distracted, and the silver-winged dragon, who didn't receive any instructions, suddenly became a little rigid. It was caught by the phantom flame beast, and a huge fireball blasted it out of the stage, causing the front row to tremble like an earthquake. The cheers erupted again. Su Lingyu looked at the phantom flame beast that was slowly descending, and a smile appeared on her face. From the corner of her eye, she saw that hateful face was smiling. Just like the people around him, he was clapping for her. She was slightly taken aback as she stole a glance with a smug look in her eyes before she looked away. She turned around and bowed to thank the crowd before turning to leave the stage. At this moment, the girl's back was facing the lights of the entire stadium. Only her silhouette was left. However, the illuminated corner of her mouth was slightly curved upwards. Astral Pet Store. Chapter 82. Impressive Appearance. Several people with overwhelming, yet restrained presence were seated on the rows closer to the stage, both male and female. Precious fruits were placed on the desks in front of them. Each of the fruits could be sold at several hundred coins, but none of these people darted a single glance at them. The girl that used the phantom flame beast has a fast reaction. She is worth training. I see 2 good students here. I believe I must pay this place another visit in 2 years. Well, why bother? I think you like to sign contracts in private. Why don't you go and sign 'em now? Right. We agreed that we must compete fairly. It turns out that a certain shameless person went and used contracts to confuse the kids. How despicable. Several people were sneering and anger was visible in their eyes. Only 2 in the group were smiling as if they couldn't understand what the others meant. One of the 2 even had the guts to say with a laugh, "The view tonight is stunning." Vice Principal Dongming Song was sitting on the side with those guests. His face was smiling while his heart was beaming with pride. Usually, the school had to try hard to make those top-tier teams select their outstanding students, and to ask those teams to take care of and train those students. But the tables had turned. It was the team's turn to beg him. This made Dongming Song feel so good. Someone noticed how this old, sly fox was grinning. Pulling a long face, that person asked, "Vice Principal Dong, tell me honestly. How much money have they paid you?" Dongming Song was taken aback. With confusion, he answered with more questions. "Money. What money? Still lying. Vice Principal Dong, this is unfair of you. The principal never did such things. Are you going to hold the scales evenly or not?" Filled with anger, several people turned their looks to Dongming Song. They were all from top-tier teams. While they couldn't do anything to the 2 shameless people, they could be less polite toward Dongming Song. Dongming Song replied with an innocent tone, "I don't know about that. By the time I found out, they had already signed the contracts. There's nothing I can do. How could you possibly not know? I will tell this to the principal." "Believe me," someone claimed in rage. Dongming Song said, upset, "I don't have anything else to say even if you tell the principal. I honestly did not know." Since he was sticking to his story, the others were enraged and yet helpless. They were at a loss when they tried to figure out what to do with the 2 shameless people and 1 old fox. Secretly, those people were regretting not coming up with such shameless moves themselves. Why did they have to be so noble and pure in their thoughts? That was a sin. On the spectators' seats, Xuanhuan said to Su Ping as she looked at the champion of grade 2 who had come to the stage for the match, "It'll be our turn soon." Su Ping sat on his seat and looked around, bored. Now and then, he would gaze at the seats in the distance by the stage. He saw several people there. They had to be the most powerful few in the entire stadium. Are those top-tier teams that have come to the school to recruit students? Su Ping's eyes glowed. The top-tier explorers teams would only pick students with both potential and strength from amongst the famous students. The second and third tier teams could only pick students out of average Astral Pet universities. There were 7 famous schools in the Longjiang base city, and Phoenix Peak Academy was one of them. Fan Yujing's sister, Fan Xiaoyu, was studying in another famous school as well, one that was in the upper town area. Even amongst the 7 famous schools, that school was at the top. It had a well-established fame that went beyond the Longjiang base city. Xuanhuan noticed that Su Ping's mind was wandering. She whispered to alert him, "Sir." Su Ping came back to his senses and threw her a glance. "What is it?" "It'll be our turn soon," Xuanhuan repeated. Su Ping replied, "Oh, I heard you." Xuanhuan was surprised. "Aren't you going to get prepared?" "Prepare?" Su Ping gave her a look of confusion. "Prepare what?" Xuanhuan didn't know how to answer when Su Ping had such a nonchalant attitude. It was the exhibition match and winning or losing would not change anything. That being said, if she were to suffer a huge loss, that could still exert some influence and she would be embarrassed. Besides, she had signed a contract with a team. She knew that the team she was going to join after the vacation was there that day. They could see her performance. Even if it was only an exhibition match, she was not less nervous than when she was in a formal competition. Nothing. Xuanhuan shook her head. She supposed Su Ping just wanted to step on the stage and advocate his lightning rat. She was the main character. The splendor of the match was going to be up to her. She closed her eyes at once to adjust herself and relax her body first. Then, she began to go through the possible scenarios of the match in her head. After all, she had fought against the thunder basilisk. She knew what skills that pet had mastered. This time around, the thunder basilisk had improved and progressed, which gave her more pressure. She could not make any mistakes. Otherwise, she would lose with shame. Time zipped by. The exhibition match between the champion and the runner-up of the second years had come to an end. The combat was more intense compared to that of the first years. The atmosphere was heated and everyone was more excited than ever. With much anticipation, the commentator presented Xuanhuan and Yihao's names. Another wave of passionate cheers came from the audience. Many families of the students present were inspired by this lively scene. At the same time, they felt a bit jealous and pitiful. After all, those two were not their kids. Brother, it's our turn now. Yihao sat amongst the crowd of the third year's class 6. He was radiating like the sun and people could pick him out from the crowd immediately. Sitting next to him was a girl about 16 or 17 years old. She dressed in a pretty and fashionable way, wearing a coffee-colored knitted hat, and her earlobes were shining because of 2 delicate crystal ear studs. Noticing that the atmosphere had been ignited because of Yihao's name, her face was covered with excitement. Ever since she was a kid, her brother had been her idol. He had always been the best whether considering his powers as a battle pet warrior or his strength in other studies. Yin, let's go. Yihao smiled and stood up. His classmates applauded him and cheered for him. Yihao was the monitor of his class. He was handsome and wealthy, as well as gentle and humble. The girls in his class adored him and so did the boys. Yi Qingyan stood up, giggling. The two of them walked in the corridor. Many contract runes began to emerge in the air. The thunder basilisk stuck its head out from the space. Yihao held his sister's hand and hopped onto the head of the thunder basilisk. The next moment, its more than 10-meter-long body also came out from the contract space. The thunder basilisk flapped its wings, creating turbulent currents for those who sat by the corridor. Some boys had spent a long time getting their fangs ready but were left in a mess after the crazy wind surge. They weren't looking good in front of their muse. Angry, those boys said some swear words in their hearts. At the same time, Yihao had already mounted onto the dragon and taken flight. He caught the attention of all those present. The dragon roared as he neared the stage. This kind of appearance was undoubtedly impressive and arrogant. Adding his handsome looks, many girls began to cheer in a frenzy. Some of them almost fainted due to the excitement. Astral Pet Store. Chapter 83. Frightened Lighting Rat. Xuanhuan was ready as well. She could feel how excited people were. She took a deep breath and said to Su Ping, "Let's go." Of course. Su Ping nodded. Yingying, good luck. Lan Lele cheered for her. Xuanhuan nodded. She walked to the corridor with Su Ping following her. Many people noticed the two and there was a small-scale cheer for them. Xuanhuan presented herself with a low-key attitude. Most of the audience was still focusing their attention on the handsome man standing on top of the soaring dragon. In comparison, Xuanhuan's glow was subdued and she received little attention. Yihao slowly descended to the stage. By then, those that had been paying attention to him finally noticed Xuanhuan on the other side of the stage. There was another round of cheers. Yihao was lofty and out of reach. On the other hand, people were more curious about the mysteries hidden by Xuanhuan. People not only regarded Xuanhuan as a talent. They thought she was a geek, since no normal person would devote so much energy to a lightning rat. There's something off about this thunder basilisk, right? It is just huge. This size, the thunder basilisk is not in his growth stage anymore. Right? Many outstanding students and teachers present were shocked the moment the thunder basilisk emerged. Most likely, the thunder basilisk had reached adulthood given its sheer size. Which rank was an adult thunder basilisk at? At least the 7th rank. This was a pet that had reached the advanced level, not to mention that the thunder basilisk was of the dragon family, the most fierce of all advanced pets. Amongst pets of the same rank, pets of the dragon family were the strongest of all in combat, far superior to the other pets. Only a few pets of the demon family could compete against those of the dragon family. A thunder basilisk that has just reached adulthood. On the spectators' seats, some of the powerful warriors from top-tier teams were taken aback. A pet of the dragon family of the 7th rank. The master had to be at the 5th rank as a minimum to summon such a pet. If the master was at the 4th rank, the master's astral power would be sucked out and the pet would escape the constraints that came with the contract. The pet would lose control and even hurt its master. A student with a 5th rank astral power. Some among the powerful people pulled long faces and only one of them was wearing a smile with excitement and pride. He had signed a contract with Yi Hao to later join his team. As for the fact that the Thunder Basilisk had achieved a breakthrough, he had found out at the contract signing. Because of this, the team gave Yi Hao excellent benefits. Yi Hao could become an official explorer directly. Besides, Yi Hao could have access to Class B uncultivated areas and train there. This was a great start for him. Not long in the future, Yi Hao was very likely to become a gold medal explorer. He was a talent that had the potential to become a team captain. The other people then understood what had happened. They cast a look at this smiling man, all with awful looks on their faces. Previously, they were just sorry that they couldn't sign a contract with this talent. At the moment, they were furious. They would be scolded by their captains if they found out that such a talent had been snatched away by others. More importantly, they felt sorry that such a talent would empower another team. This was just a huge loss. Since the talent was unattainable, people would be prone to pick bones. Several of them glared at Dongming Songa and one of them snorted. Vice Principal Dong, this Thunder Basilisk has reached the 7th rank. Even among the explorers, such a level can be considered formidable. I don't think this exhibition match must go on. Miss Su's lightning rat is strong. That being said, it is a low-rank pet, not a match to the Thunder Basilisk at all. Besides, if you ask me, this Thunder Basilisk is beginning to show the dragon's deterrence trait. I'm afraid the combat will come to an end before it even begins. He was the one that signed a contract with Xuanhuan. She was currently on his team. That was why he would address her as Miss Su, and why he couldn't accept this seemingly unfair match. Not only would she serve as a prop to Yi Hao, but her opponent would also be able to make a show of authority. Besides, the lighting rat was a rat. People would normally say, as timid as a mouse, for a reason. The lightning rat was timid and it would be frightened when coming across a pet of the dragon family. If some psychological trauma was caused, then this genius lightning rat would be broken. Hearing his words, the other people sneered. The dog-eat-dog fight had begun. The others just sat on the side and looked on with a detachment. Dongming Song hurried to calm that man down. I have told their teachers and Yi Hao promised he would alert Miss Su as well and ask her to send out the fallen phoenix. He will pull his punches. After all, the fallen phoenix is also an advanced pet. Although the fallen phoenix has yet to reach adulthood, it does have its pride and will not be overwhelmed by the dragon's deterrence. Her defeat will not be embarrassing. However, this man was unhappy. Is it an exhibition match when one side enjoys a landsliding advantage? Well, the exhibition match is just for people to enjoy a show. Only a match where you can win and you can show up is called a fair game, right? The young man that signed a contract with Yi Hao sneered. If you have true abilities, just win with your strength. We have made compromises. What more do you want? This is a place where strength rules. Will you have a debate with the monsters and beasts about what is fair when you are exploring uncharted lands? Dongming Song mediated between the two quarreling parties. The match is about to begin. Let us watch it for now. The two pulled long faces and snorted out of contempt, but neither continued the verbal fight. On the stage, Yi Hao and his sister had landed on the ground. He said to his sister, "Stay within my astral shield and do not come out." "Sure. Good luck, brother," Yi Qingyan said with a chuckle. Many people recognized Yi Qingyan when they saw her. Someone exclaimed, "Isn't she a new trainee of Star Entertainment Media?" Is that so? The singer who made the song, The Snow Sings and the Star Dances popular. Oh my god, I'm a huge fan of hers. She's Yihao's sister. God, their family is awesome. They're so good looking. Please save some grace for us. Yi Qingyan's presence caused some minor disturbances. As opposed to her brother Yihao's interests, she liked music. Therefore, she didn't go down the path of becoming a battle pet warrior. Instead, she became a singer. She had gone to the exhibition match to cheer for her brother, and at the same time boost her popularity with the exposure. She believed that she would be the highlight of the base city's entertainment news the next day. Su Yuanying noticed Yi Qingyan by Yihao's side as well, and this took her by surprise. Su Yuanying had once heard Yi Qingyan's song by chance and knew her. But Su Yuanying had no idea that she, the star, was Yihao's younger sister. In this era, battle pet warriors were the mainstream in society. However, battle pet warriors did watch TV and listen to music. Therefore, those singers and actors had their markets and they were supported by their fans as well. Comment. Su Ping noticed the look on Su Yuanying's face and asked, "What is it?" Su Yuanying came back to her senses and shook her head. Nothing. The look in her eyes became more serious as she focused her mind. Astral powers surged within her when she opened up the pet space and summoned both the lighting rat and the fallen phoenix. She trusted Su Ping when he said that the lighting rat could withstand the dragon's deterrence. Still, just to make sure, she summoned the fallen phoenix as well. The match didn't stipulate that no two pets could be summoned at the same time. It was just that the demand for the master's control when two pets were called out was much stricter. Just by applying the augmentation skills on the two pets would exhaust 1/3 of her astral power, not to mention that she had to multitask. If she did well, the outcome would be stunning. But if she couldn't handle it, she would be in a muddle and it could backfire on her. Why did she take out the lightning rat? Off the stage, Su Yuanying's mentor and Dongming Song were both shocked. Previously, her mentor had found a chance to tell her. She agreed at the time, but it was clear that she didn't accept it. Yihao's eyes glistened with coldness when he saw Su Yuanying call out the lightning rat. She was incorrigible. He warned her out of goodwill, but she was ungrateful. The lightning rat that had just hopped out from the contract space caught the attention of everyone present. As soon as the lightning rat landed on the ground, it felt a threat, something that was familiar and unforgettable. In an instant, all of its hair stood on its roots. A reflection of someone standing on the side was visible in the lightning rat's eyes. Noticing how the lightning rat was behaving, the contempt in Yihao's eyes deepened. What was the use of having talents and a strong comprehending power? Nothing like this would be of any use when a truly powerful being was there. The lightning rat didn't even dare to stand in front of a pet of the dragon family. Astral Pet Store. Chapter 84. Decisive Failure. Su Ping saw the lightning rat looking quite stressed and couldn't help but smile. "Hey, little guy, miss me?" The creature immediately hid behind Su Yuanying's leg and trembled upon seeing Su Ping's wicked grin, one that had been imprinted deep inside its memory. Its recent life was quite enjoyable because Su Yuanying always made sure there was enough food, care and rest. But as soon as it saw Su Ping again, it was reminded of all the nightmarish training it received a while back. Su Yuanying, on the other hand, was glad that she brought her fallen phoenix as a backup plan. Still, she wondered why her lightning rat was afraid of Su Ping, instead of the thunder basilisk on the other side of the stage. Unfortunately, she couldn't read her pet's mind with more accuracy yet. Wait, why is he up there? Su Lingyu saw his brother showing up together with the runner-up of the third year and failed to believe her eyes. She had always seen Su Ping as a sluggish and useless failure who knew nothing other than bullying the weak. How could he even stand together with Su Yuanying? More importantly, what was he doing on stage? Was he going to play a grandiose prank in public? Knowing him, Su Lingyu knew she almost had the right answer. Curse him. So that's why he was in the seniors area. To hook up with a girl. Su Lingyu felt her good mood was instantly replaced by sudden fury. Get ready, you two. On the stage, the judge was already announcing the start of the match. In fact, he felt more stressed than the participants because he was responsible for ensuring their safety. He wasn't so sure he could stop a thunder basilisk, who had just been promoted to the 7th rank. Xuanhuan nodded to the judge and gave her fallen phoenix the order to move. The bird leaped into the sky while covered in intense flames. The entire stadium became hotter. Blazing ray. Xuanhuan told it to use its strongest move when they still had the chance. The audience exclaimed in awe when they saw the 4th rank fallen phoenix using an 8th rank skill. Blazing ray was not an inheritable skill, which meant Xuanhuan put a lot of effort in training her pet. Yi Hao saw how the crowd was reacting and smiled widely. This was just what he wanted. The better Xuanhuan performed, the more glorious he would look after defeating her. Upon receiving his order, the thunder basilisk unleashed a deafening howl toward the sky, causing everyone watching to flinch under its absolute might. The fallen phoenix, too, had its actions interrupted. Its blazing ray rapidly shrank until it disappeared. It cut off an 8th rank skill using its roar. So that's the true power of a high-rank battle pet, some among the audience uttered. Xuanhuan grimaced as she realized that her opponent never intended to give her a chance to exhibit, just like Lan Lele mentioned. The fallen phoenix felt the rage of its master and responded by gathering its flame again. Still unwilling to give up. Good. Let's play some more. Yi Hao smirked. The thunder basilisk didn't attempt to stop the attack this time. It patiently waited until the scorching fire beam approached and struck its wing. Bang! The main screen in the stadium showed a close-up picture of the attack. There, people saw a finger-sized white scar left behind on the thunder basilisk's wing, which didn't look like a serious injury at all. Before the camera was pulled away, the scar was already disappearing. A thunder basilisk was also believed to be a dragon type. Such creatures usually possessed superior resistance as well as self-regeneration properties. It was rare to see a dragon-type astral pet bleed to death. Once again, the spectators called out in surprise. Even if the fallen phoenix was below the 5th rank, that beam attack still packed a punch. A pet of the same rank would have already been killed by it. And yet, the thunder basilisk shrugged it off. Xuanhuan was then too shocked to act. That was indeed her fallen phoenix's best skill. At this rate, she would be unable to get through the thunder basilisk defense at all, even if it stood there and let her pet do its worst. The gap between them was way too big. Yi Hao smiled in satisfaction when he looked at Xuanhuan's face, before he told his basilisk to unleash a combination of showy attacks: Dragon Breath, Frigid Brine, Thunderstorm and Leer, all of which were high-rank skills. The first 3 were meant to show off the well-balanced potential of the creature, while the last one was for intimidating the fallen phoenix. Anything with an inferior bloodline would only tremble under the basilisk's gaze. The first 3 skills went off somewhere in the sky without hitting the phoenix, which was what Yi Hao tried to do. Still, their deadly power did a number to the stage below, as if some kind of brutal battle had just destroyed everything. If he wanted, Yi Hao could absolutely ask the basilisk to burn the stadium down. The fallen phoenix stopped moving as soon as it was affected by the Leer skill. It tumbled down and slammed into the floor while still trembling badly. It lost, hands down. The stadium remained quiet for a while at the end of the game because people at least expected some kind of exciting clash between those 2 brilliant pets. However, as it turned out, Xuanhuan was nothing when fighting against Yi Hao. All she did was amplify Yi Hao's dominance. It couldn't be helped, though. A 7th rank thunder basilisk was just too powerful. Xuanhuan was overwhelmed by both rage and despair. Come on, where's your lightning rat? Xuanhuan looked up and saw Su Ping giving her an odd look. But my rat is. Your rat is braver than you think. On second thought, Su Ping decided not to let the girl continue as it was. In such a state, she would just lose another match miserably. Fine. Let me handle it. Su Ping sighed and looked at the small creature still shuddering beside Xuanhuan's feet. Hey, little one, come here already, if you don't want to embarrass both me and your master to death. The rat blinked and pretended with them, "I don't know what you're talking about, look." Su Ping rolled his eyes and sent a spiritual order that way. "Do as I say or I'll take you to another training trip." The rat understood the evil will hidden behind those words. In order not to go through all those nightmares again, it slowly joined Su Ping, after giving its master a pleading look. "See that guy over there? Beat it up, and I'll leave you alone." The lightning rat looked at the thunder basilisk with excitement clearly shown in its tiny eyes. Earning more vacations was more than enough reason for it to follow Su Ping's order through. It puffed up its body, sharpened its claws and displayed the unstoppable will to fight. Xuanhuan almost fell agape when looking at her pet so obedient when Su Ping didn't even have a pet contract with it. She heard how experienced battle pet warriors could communicate with other pets using their spirits, but she never thought Su Ping could do such a thing with her rat. "And I never told my lightning rat would listen to him." Astral Pet Store. Chapter 85. Intense Battle. Xuanhuan didn't have the time to worry about her pet having another master because the creature had already made a move. Thunder Rush. By covering its limbs in electricity, it bolted away like a missile, while people could only see a flashy trail left behind. Thunder Rush allowed the rat to move at almost Mach 2 and instantly reach its opponent. Next, it created a blade made out of electricity and slashed at the thunder basilisk's neck. Several scales were knocked off, leaving a shallow cut behind. Roar. The thunder basilisk furiously gazed at the smaller enemy annoyingly hopping about. What was that? The lightning rat. Once again, the onlookers didn't know how they should react after witnessing such a reversal. They all recognized the lightning rat, but nobody expected it to actually hurt a 7th-rank thunder basilisk who had just reached adulthood. As they believed, the thunder basilisk could scare off weaker opponents by simply standing there, or greatly intimidate stronger ones. How could the lightning rat make the first move? Rats were supposed to be cowards. All the people in the stadium, including the invited settlers, thought that the match had ended when the fallen phoenix fell. Yet they were proven wrong by a lightning rat they had been ignoring for a moment. A lightning rat bold enough to challenge a basilisk. What kind of rat was that? What the? Yihao also checked the new enemy in astonishment. When he looked further, he saw Xuanhuan similarly shocked. And he felt displeased. If his thunder basilisk failed to suppress the rat, he would be helping the rat look better instead. "Hey, I see." He took a deep breath and sent his killing intent to the basilisk. He had decided to utterly destroy the little nuisance. No matter what happened during the match, people would only remember the winner. Roar. Affected by both its master's emotions and its challenged ego, the thunder basilisk shrieked madly. The sound, combined with the natural aura of a mighty basilisk, echoed in the stadium, making all those present shudder in fear. This was how people usually felt when going up against dragon-type astral pets. They'd lose their will to resist at the very beginning. The participants of the tournament grew exceptionally restless. Since the thunder basilisk easily knocked them out before breaking through to the 7th rank. They wondered what would happen if they were to repeat the matches right then. They'd forfeit beforehand, probably. SHT. That's what you get for playing jokes on such an occasion. Su Lingyu clenched her fists while looking at the miserable image of his brother. She was ready to go to his rescue at a moment's notice because that basilisk could make short work of him anytime. Frigid brine. Under Yihao's command, the thunder basilisk unleashed freezing air that immediately expanded to freeze up the stage. Apart from causing a slippery footing, the basilisk could further increase the effect and freeze the lightning rat into an ice sculpture, unless the rat knew how to fly. Oh gods! The dropping temperature woke Xuanhuan up from her shocked state as she realized what Yihao was trying to do. Su Ping saw the lightning rat still gathering the gray energy of death and rolled his eyes. Stop it! Your enemy won't give you time to summon a powerful undead. Use your brain. Hearing Su Ping's spiritual order, the rat quickly cancelled the skill it was casting. It didn't like being around Su Ping, but it knew how to trust his decisions. The rat tried to use undead calling because the best shot it used at the beginning failed to knock out the basilisk, and it felt anxious about finishing the job in time. It assessed the battlefield more carefully and began retreating toward the edge of the stage yet to be covered in ice. Meanwhile, it used all-round thunder prison to destroy the approaching ice so it had a safe spot to stand on. Using the same trick, it opened up a small path on the icy stage and slowly approached the thunder basilisk. Yi Hao frowned and changed his tactic. The silver eyes of the basilisk glowed as the creature leered at the lightning rat to send the invasive spiritual energy that way. Thunder roar, Su Ping ordered. Ordering the rat without a contract wasn't as convenient, though the rat had spent enough time with him to efficiently heed his order. Another deafening roar boomed inside the stadium despite the rat's size, causing everyone to flinch yet again. Su Yangying, being so close to the rat, almost jumped in fear. Thunder roar was a simple intimidation tactic amplified by the power of lightning. It had little effect against the thunder basilisk. But at the same time, the lightning rat was also moving freely without slowing down by the Lear skill. Did it fail? Yi Hao widened his eyes. Do it again. Roar. The lightning rat kept breaking through the ice, unaffected. Yi Hao had realized that the rat had something to counter the basilisk's leer. Though he couldn't understand how thunder roar had played a part in this. Without much time to think of a plan, he simply told the thunder basilisk to use thunderstorm. Su Ping saw several miniature thunderbolts swirling on the basilisk's wings. Checking the lightning rat's position, he noticed that the skill would go off before the rat could reach the basilisk. Damn it. It has a tiny brain after all. Su Ping couldn't complain. The thunder basilisk was a genuine high-rank pet that should not be underestimated, or the match would have ended after the first move. He just had to give more specific orders. Use shadow image and go in 3 different directions. Cast all-round thunder prison as bait, while your true body shall flank it from the side. Tell the other shadows to prepare thunder slash and thunder rush to get closer. Aim for its vital points and eyes, then send something into its mouth. Now move. The basilisk's attacks were both flashy and deadly. Su Ping was worried that the lightning rat would lose for real if the fight was dragged for too long. He had to seize the best possible chance to end everything. End of the chapter. Astral Pets Store will be read in 5 chapters for every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. Please leave this sound novel and press subscribe, follow, and the bell so you don't miss any new clips as well. See you.